Hey guys, what's going on? It's Grobby Rubber, and today I'm bringing you another tutorial. This one is a little bit different. It's not so much on creating artwork, but what to do with your finished pieces. I've been doing a lot of recent paintings on paper. This is a hot pressed 140 pound, I believe. But you can see here, after having a few layers on it, it starts to curve. It starts to warp a little. And I'm not a huge fan of that. And even if you were to put it in a frame with, a mat or anything, it's still gonna kind of warp. So that's why I'm gonna show you guys how to create or how to mount your finished pieces to wood. Fairly simple, and you can do it yourself with most materials you have at home. I'm just using this flooring. I think it's some flooring, it's like subfloor particle board of some sort pressed together. So nothing fancy, but I just wanted something stiff, sturdy, flat, level. So I actually cut this piece from a much larger piece to size, since I've been painting on these 7x10, which is kind of a strange format. So I create a custom size, and I'll show you exactly what you'll need to do and what tools. You'll want to make sure you have some sandpaper. You want to make sure that this is nice and sanded and good to go beforehand. You want a thick bristled, stiff brush for spreading out some of the medium that we'll be using to apply. You'll need a box cutter or a razor or some sort of edge, trim edge to trim the edges. I also am going to use a roller to kind of even out our painting once we apply it. I am using just whatever impasto you can, impasto medium. I believe this is one that can go with my oil paints, but it'll work either way. This is a clear, kind of see it there. My palette knife is a little dirty, but it's a clear, thicker, gel type impasto. You can get white, either one will work just fine. So this is all the tools that you will need to get started on this. So we're just gonna kind of get down to it, down and dirty. This is an at-home DIY quarantine special. So yeah, let's dive into it. Now the first thing, you're gonna want to make sure there is obviously no more dust or sawdust, somewhat clean surface. Then we're gonna liberally apply the impasto. Yeah, we don't want to get that all out there. You can always add more if needed, or scrape off. And then you're just going to take your palette knife and try to cover the surface as evenly as possible. Okay, so once you have it applied throughout, we're going to now take the thick bristled brush, pick this up again, and we're just going to evenly coat the bottom side of it. Make sure to clean your hands of any of the medium, because you do not want that on your artwork. So now that this is nice gel-like consistency, You can kind of adjust, flip the artwork over. You can see how you can center it. Since it'll be larger than the board, it's easiest to see on the back side there how much you have on each edge. You can kind of shift it around. Going to take my roller. This is just a generic foam roller. They do have specific rollers you can get. But I am very cheap. Okay, so put that on there. Now we're going to take our knife or box cutter and we're going to trim these edges. Alright, so there we go. Now we got this mounted. It's a little rough on some of the edges. I'll come back with some sandpaper. Just kind of sand down, clean up. Go good with a mat over it. Okay, so now the last thing to do, we're going to flip it over, or you're going to put it on whatever preferred surface, or if you have a piece of plastic or wax paper, something to place over it. And then we're going to pile our heaviest books directly on top, as much weight as you can. And then you're just going to want to leave it for a day or two, and then you should have your finished mounted artwork.